What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So I am in Colombia. We are at Camarones Beach. Look at this. Beautiful. There's nobody here. Just me. I got a couple friends over here. We're gonna go on a tour in a little bit. We're gonna be going to see some flamingos. But I wanted to take a little bit of time because I did see a few articles come up, and I know I'm a day late on this one, but hopefully I can get this video out later today. But I saw that we had a few economists that were saying that it would be nice to have some type of a gas voucher. And I think it's a good idea. However, you're always gonna have positives and negatives when it comes to situations like that where there's a voucher or anything like that, because we are dealing with inflation right now. Obviously, everybody knows. Everybody's looking at gas prices now and they're saying, what are we gonna do about gas prices? This is an option. However, it could make us even more inflated. So there's always that risk. And so the other side, you have economists saying, yes, a voucher would be good. They're talking about kind of like a $300 per month voucher. So if you go get gas, you would have that voucher. Maybe they would put it on some type of debit card that they would send out to the American people. The talk is right now, and this is just economists saying this. We'll see if politicians pick this up. And so there are economists right now that are saying that they don't think that if we had this gas voucher, that it would inflate the economy. And then you have economists on the other side saying, I mean, it's always that way, right? You're always gonna have that back and forth. Right now, politicians haven't really picked this up. I think this is something that should be looked at, especially by Democrats. If they wanna have a chance in November, something's gonna have to be done about our gas prices. And this voucher might be an option. Okay, so there are two sides, like I said. There's good, obviously. It would help a lot of people, but then would it be bad because you're kind of letting the oil industry off the hook. If they are price gouging and you set something up like this where you have vouchers going out, that means people can afford to pay for that gas. So that means those prices are going to continue to rise. And let's say this is the talk right now. I think they were saying anywhere from the neighborhood of 50 billion to 100 billion is what it would cost. That is contingent on how long it would be. So let's say it's only for 6 months. Well, if we're still looking at gas prices high in 6 months, the vouchers are gone. Now what do you do? So there's a lot to think about when it comes down to it. And I don't know exactly the solution. I'm not gonna pretend that I know the solution, but this is just one option that is being kicked around right now. And so we'll have to see. Are politicians gonna pick this up? Are they gonna be interested in something like this? We'll have to follow the story and see where it goes. I definitely wanna know what you guys think about this, because this is, we're in real bad times. And I don't have to tell you guys that. You guys already know people are struggling. And if we can do something about these gas prices, I think it would be a good thing. Now, the criteria as of right now is what the economists are saying. You can give it to the same people who receive stimulus checks. So pretty much have that same level where 75,000 or less, you can receive the full amount. I don't know if they would taper it off at some point above that. If you're a head of household, and I'm just talking about stimulus checks. If you're a head of household, I think you can go up to 112,000, and then a family of two would be about 150,000. So those would be the income levels. So we'll see what they do when it comes down to it. Okay, so it's the next day. I'm back in Riohacha, back by the hotel, and so let me just show you guys what we have here. So this is the beach right here. Water's right out there, and they're getting ready to do a parade, and I think in about an hour, right behind me. But anyway, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the federal fund rate increase, because I've had some people ask me about that, and I put together a video yesterday and I did not talk about it, so I want to talk about it in this portion of the video. So the first portion of the video, we talked about the gas voucher. Now I want to talk a little bit about the federal fund tax rate increase. So we're going to talk about that. Okay, so let's talk about this federal fund rate increase. So this is not the interest rate increase that we're all thinking about. So if you buy a house, your interest rate will go up. That's not exactly what's going on. What they're raising is the federal fund rate. And what that means is for banks to borrow from other banks, it costs more. And what the banks will do is they will pass that cost on to the consumer. And so that's how that works. So they're not raising the interest rates that we're looking at. They're raising the federal fund rates for banks. Okay, so now that explanation's out of the way, how does this affect us? So what we're looking at right now, when it comes down to the interest rates being increased, the reason that they're doing this is because they're trying to make it less desirable. I know that sounds weird, but they're trying to make it less desirable for businesses to take out loans, individual people to take out loans to buy houses and things like that, because we're in a hot market where people are spending so much and we don't have the supply. And that's why inflation is so high. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to balance it. And the way that they balance it is by raising the federal fund rate. You raise that federal fund rate, making things less desirable to spend, and people want to wait. So if people want to wait, that will mean that there'll be more supply, and we'll be in a situation where we're not in this hot spending frenzy that we're in right now. And the price of things will go down, and that will bring down inflation. So that is the whole plan. That's what they're focused on right now. And we're going to see more rate increases in the near future. So it was a 0.25%. We're going to see even more coming in the future, because they're trying to balance this out and get inflation down. So overall, this is good for us, because once inflation goes down, that means the cost of things go down. And so that's what we're focused on. And so that means when you go to the store to buy a dozen eggs, if those dozen eggs are $5 now because the price is inflated, the hope is that those eggs will go down to maybe $4 for a dozen eggs instead of the $5 that we're looking at right now. We're also looking at the gas price issue. And that's why when you don't hear politicians talking about stimulus and stuff like that right now, the main reason that they're not talking about it is because inflation is so high. Because inflation is high, it's hard to really push for any type of stimulus, because if you put even more money into the market, then that means that inflation will go up even higher. At least that's what economists think. Some economists think that. Now you have other economists that don't think that. They're actually thinking that things like this gas voucher that we're hearing about, that would benefit the middle class, working class, and the poor, and it wouldn't really inflate prices too much. So you're always going to have both sides when it comes to economists. And so we'll have to see if they do go forward with this gas voucher. But when it comes down to it, that is the reason that we saw this rate increase, this federal fund rate increase, and we'll have to see what type of an effect that it will have. Now, will this have an impact right away? No, it's not going to have an impact right away. This will take some time. So this is not something we can look at inflation going down in the next couple of months. We're probably looking at the end of the year before we really see inflation going down. And let's hope that inflation goes down. That's the whole plan here. And so they're going to continue to do this balancing act, because we had the federal fund rated pretty much zero for a while, since I think like 2018. And so because of that, that is the reason why they have to make these corrections. Okay, so this is a constant thing. So I just wanted to put that out there so you guys understand when it comes down to the federal fund rate, and you're hearing about these interest rate increase and all this. That's what they're talking about when it comes down to it. So the hope is at the end of the year, we'll have inflation at a lower rate, and that will be good for the American people. So if you guys have any questions, please let me know down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.